Hi, Karen. It is so lovely to see you as always. And I'm very excited about today's pod. It was somewhat of a surprise. Who knew last week's topic would spur on such a exciting, I don't know, exciting next episode?
Exactly. I think this is the first time I can think of. Well, maybe it's not the first time, but that an episode has led to a sequel.
Yes. Yes. This is part two,
Yeah.
listeners, of last week's episode, which you probably already can tell in the description of this podcast or the title, but it's very, very exciting. And thank you to Tori/Ginger Buddha for being here, because that's what's happening.
I mean, the energy that Tori brought to this conversation, off the charts, so much fun. Oh my, I mean, we should have, like, if you need something sold, listeners, if you need a spokeswoman for something, Tori's your girl.
Oh,
Like,
for sure. She could totally have like a whole consulting like side of like her business, or just like be a
yes.
consultant for people who need to sell, because
Yeah.
like you're gonna buy it. You're just
Yeah.
gonna buy it. Like I would buy it. Like her energy is infectious.
Agreed. And such a good conversation. So
Oh, it was really
I agree.
fun. It really was fun. So yes, listeners, keep tuning in for Ginger Buddha's full review of the Barbie movie. But before we get to that, Karen, how are you? This is gonna be
Gosh.
our last episode for, I guess, 3 weeks. Listeners, we're not gonna be back until August 14th. We're taking a little, disco nap for the summer. But
Yes.
but yes.
My gosh, wait. So, right, this comes at the 24th, right? We'll skip the 31st and the 7th. Okay, I got you. Math is hard, everyone.
It is hard.
I believe Barbie said that. That is true.
Is it really?
You remember, yes, there was a Barbie in the 90s, a controversial Barbie in the 90s that she actually said, math is hard.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, whew, Barbie. Oh, she's complicated.
She's a complicated figure. Yes, she is.
Oh my gosh. So the story, I mentioned this in the conversation with Tori, the 19th, my day job has a story about the Barbie movie. And I had a joke in there, a nod to the Barbie meme. Okay, so Katie, I will test this on you, because the writer was just like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. The whole this Barbie thing.
This Barbie?
Oh my
Oh
God.
no, I'm sorry. Shoot.
I'm
Oh,
glad I moved it.
wait, wait, please explain. I don't know what that means.
It's a meme, and I will admit, I think the origins of it are like promotion for the movie. You could create a meme of like what kind of Barbie you are. Somebody correct me.
Oh.
And so it was just like, this Barbie is a potato. This Barbie is whatever. This Barbie is whatever. And it was like a whole thing. Oh, I just hit my microphone. Sorry, everyone. And yeah, I had a line in there that was like, this Barbie is complicated. And Nacho, the writer, was like, I don't know what you're talking about. All right, bye.
That's okay. That's all right. So wait, there are like you can make a meme to be the
Yes.
Barbie that you want to be.
Yes.
Ooh, I like that. Is this like on Barbie.com, or like where do you even find this?
I saw it in a Mashable article, but I'm sure. Hold on.
Okay.
Anyway.
That's amazing. I love that. And also, I wish I was hip enough to understand that reference the first time. So thank you for being the more hip of us.
Oh, okay. Not at all. Okay. Hello. I live in Indiana. It is Barbieselfie.ai. It's a selfie generator.
Oh, wow. So you can create a Barbie version of yourself.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, there's a photo and everything. Okay. I'm going to get into this later. Anyway.
Okay.
Okay. Edie, how are you doing? You are the muse inspiration, as always, for this break we are taking. So
I'm very excited. Yes. And thank you for being willing to take the break with me, Karen, because yeah, so Tyler and I, so today's Friday. It is, what day is it? I don't know what date. No, it's July 21st. Yes, I do know what it is. I can see a calendar. Okay. Anywho, but Tyler and I are going on a 2-week trip, and we're going to be traversing the Pacific Northwest in our car, and we're going to go camping for 3 nights. Then we're going to Olympic National Park for a few nights, Seattle for a few nights, and then we're going to go up and stay in an Airbnb in the San Juan Islands. And yeah, it's going to be great. I'm really excited. Like, it's definitely like a very nature focused vacation, where a lot of my vacations are focused on cities. So Yeah, I'm excited. Tyler's very nervous about the camping aspect. And he kind of hurt his back a little bit today. So that's not helping the cause because I'm the enthusiast about camping. Yes, he is going to be on a queen size air mattress by himself, and I will be on the sleeping pad on the ground, which I know sounds super weird, but that is my choice, listeners. I am not told not to be on a king. I don't like air mattresses, Karen. I don't know if you feel the same with this about me, but I feel like they're a teeter-totter. You make one move, you move your leg, and I'm catapulted into the air. Like, I can't do it. Even the nicest ones that are like super firm, fuck that shit. I can't do it. So anyway, I let him, not let him, but he has the ability to use the queen size air mattress himself. Meanwhile, I am on this great sleeping pad that's frankly actually quite comfortable. Like I actually really like it. So, I'm all good with that.
This trip sounds amazing, Katie. I really can't wait to hear about it. Oh my God, I love it. And that what's so funny is that is exactly how I describe air mattresses.
Is
If
it?
you are not, oh yeah, as a seesaw.
Oh, yes.
Yes, because if you are not exactly the same weight as the person you are sleeping on that thing with, yeah, like you described, like, God love Jessie Mary, my mother. We are not the same size. And yeah, no, any movement, I'm flying out of the place. I'm flying out of the bed.
Right? You are seriously you're getting air. You're getting air out
Yes.
of that thing. Either that or what's even somewhat worse is that you're deflating together but at different rates. And so like it's like they're on the ground and you're like on a little bubble. Oh my God, worst. I hate air mattresses so much. Although I'll put in a plug for camping, like these mats. Have you ever seen these? They're like these camping mats. They're not even thick. Seriously, Karen, they're like 3 inches thick. I don't know what the hell they're made of, but you blow them up by like pumping your foot on them basically. So they just like inflate with air. And then I can sleep on my side and be completely comfortable. Like I really can't. Like they're actually like, I don't know what kind of technology, just divine design there is with those, but they're honestly great. So yeah, fingers crossed, everything's going to be fine. If it's not, then Tyler will probably sleep in the car the first night and then hotels the next two. So, like, we'll see how that goes. We're not even going to be close to a hotel, honestly. So, anywho, yeah, listeners, stay tuned. You will get a full report on August 14th. The rest of it is going to be like in, bougie hotels and Airbnb. So, I'm not actually worried about that at all.
I hate to ask to potentially reignite some trauma, any tree houses this time?
Great question. There is not a treehouse in the mix this time, although we will be very close to the treehouse vicinity when we drive up to the San Juan Islands, because that was where we were going the last time when the ill-fated treehouse experience happened. Also, what made that treehouse experience so bad was that it was like 108 degrees and it was like this freakish heat wave in Washington. And right now, I think our temperatures are like not going to get above 76. So that's pretty nice.
Ooh, that's great. And do you have any wildfire smoke?
That's a really good question. Actually, it's interesting. We've had like the most clear summer so far, but actually last night Tyler made pizza and we ate it in the backyard and I was like, I kind of feel like there's some smoke. And I was like, what is that? Like, because I couldn't smell it, but I could see it. And I was like, what is that? And so he looked up, there's like air quality index apps all the time. And he was like, oh, that's weird. He's like, it's 66. So 66 usually in Bend is like nothing. Basically anything below 50 is like perfect. But 66, like there is a little bit. So fingers crossed. That would be like a massive bummer if there was, but it's the season. It is. That's the thing. So it's a gamble for sure. So yeah.
Feeling very protective of the like sanctity of your trip. I want everything to be perfect this time around. I'm very
Thank
excited for
you.
you.
Thank you so much. What are you and MLB planning the next 2.5 weeks?
Oh goodness. So when we talk again, I will have gone to the National Association of Black Journalists convention in beautiful Birmingham, Alabama.
Oh, fun.
And we'll have celebrated MLB's birthday. So
Well, that's exciting. Okay,
I
so
know.
first off, are you going to go to Sheffield when you go to Birmingham?
I am probably going to swing through. I'm trying to figure out the logistics of that because I'm going to drive.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I'm not sure how I'm going to make that work, but
Yeah.
probably Sheffield is on the way to Birmingham.
Okay, that makes sense. That's right, because it's north. So
Yes.
is MLB coming along with you for that trip?
Sadly, no. They are going to stay here and study for a licensing exam, hang out
Fair.
with the cats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I hope it's really, really fun. And then
Thank you.
on the heels of your birthday extravaganza at Mammoth Caves National Park, I mean, just in case MLB listens to the show, I don't expect you to divulge anything, but do you have things in the, like, do you have thoughts about what you're going to do?
Yes. Like I said, thank you for asking. Because like I said in a previous episode, MLB has set the bar very, very high.
I
The
mean,
partner
so high.
birthday bar really high. So, whew, yeah, I'm going to do my best.
You're going to do great, Karen. You're going to do so great. Even if MLB's bar is in the stratosphere, like
Yes.
you're going to do wonderful. It's always the thought that counts. It's the love that already is there. That is beautiful. So I'm sure it's going to be lovely. And I love that the two of you have birthdays so close to each other. I mean, are they close enough that you're the same sign? Like the
No,
okay,
I am a Cancer. MLB is a Leo.
got it. Okay. Okay. Wow, that's really exciting. I really hope you have such a wonderful time. And yeah, I feel like we're going to have some stories when we get back. And oh, wait, but before we go with this intro, there's something very important to talk about.
Yes, exactly. Which is that by the time we talk again, by the time you hear from us again, listeners, our third anniversary will have passed. Just wild.
3 years. Okay, wait. Is it the 27th of July or the 29th of July? It's something around that, I think. It's like
I
late 20s.
I believe it is the 27th,
Okay.
July 27th. I think that's the first one.
3 years, Karen.
Oh my God.
Gotta be honest, I didn't think about it, I guess, the longevity of this podcast when we first started. But if
Oh
someone had
no.
been like, oh, by the way, you're going to be doing this for 3+ years, I would have been like, well, that's amazing, but also really? Like, aren't we gonna like forget, like we won't have enough things to talk about or whatever, you know?
Well, like, I mean, surely the pandemic's going to be over in like 2 months.
Oh, yeah, exactly. No one's gonna even remember the term COVID. Like, what is that? Something with a C, maybe? Yeah. Nope. I mean, I will say that the last 3 years have been incredible. I think I told you this. I don't think it was on the pod, but it was last week when maybe we were talking off pod that you are the friend I talk to the most, period. Like on this regular basis, like, which is such a beautiful thing. And I'm so grateful for it. And it's like, but it's just the truth. Like, I mean, I talked like sometimes friends, like, you go in like you kind of have like phases where it's like, oh, I'll talk to this person like once a week for a month and then like not for 6 months. But like just having this consistency has been like an enormous, beauty in my life. So thank you, Karen.
Oh, thank you, Katie. Oh my gosh. As I always tell you, you're my therapy addendum.
Same.
Yeah. So this friendship, I tell you, worth its weight in tuxedo chocolates.
Yes. And all the merch and
Yes.
and all the invites to Michelle Obama. Yes. Worth it. Totally worth it. Yes, listeners. And we appreciate you all, many of whom have been with us since day one. So thank you all. Seriously, like this is, I don't know. It's wonderful to just talk to you, Karen, not just, but to talk to you. And it's also wonderful to know that there are actually like people out in the world that hear us.
Yes, I
Yeah.
agree.
I got a email from a friend, my friend Mark. Hi Mark, thank you for this email that you sent me that was so thoughtful. With like a YouTube clip of Emily King from like years and years ago, and he's like, "I know that you talk about how much you love Emily King." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, like that's so thoughtful." Also, PS, I had no idea Mark listened to the pod. So like, it's really nice.
Oh wait, will you send me that
Oh,
clip?
I definitely will
Oh
send you
my
the clip.
God.
Yes. Because you are the actual love of it. Like I mean, you and MLB have actually met the great Emily King. Yes.
Just wild.
It is wild. So, anywho, I mean, this has just been so much fun. And also, I feel like this teeny intro is not doing our third year justice. So maybe we'll talk about it again in another pod. But I
Yes.
really hope that you have a great summer disco nap, Karen.
Katie, have a wonderful vacation.
Thank you so much. Thanks, everybody. We will see you soon, but stay tuned for Ginger Buddha. Ginger Buddha, welcome back to the pod.
Hey, I'm so happy to be here. I'm so excited about doing this. Thank you for letting me come back and share what I have learned on my Barbie journey.
Letting you come back, pretty much begging you to come back. Are you kidding? Hello.
Seriously, always, always open invite. I mean, we're so excited. I can't speak for you, Karen, but I am so excited to hear this. Because, okay, can we start?
Yes.
Let's start from the beginning,
Yes.
though, because so you heard us talk about this on last week's pod. And like, what was your initial thought about the feminist conversation and all of that? Like, what were your
Permission to speak frankly about this? Permission to speak frankly, as always.
Of course. And I would add also, if you could talk about your own personal Barbie journey before seeing the movie. Okay, great.
Please.
Magical moves, Barbie. Yes. So as soon as you brought it up, I was so eager because obviously I love to hear you two talk about things. I love the way you talk about your opinions on things and bring your personal experience to things. And Care, when you said the thing about what came up in Slack, I was like, feminist icon, interesting. But I did not have nearly the visceral reaction to it that the two of you did. And I was like, man, maybe I'm giving too much credit to this. Maybe, like, yeah, she was white until they probably begged her not to be, and this. And like, I just honestly hadn't really thought about it that much. And I hadn't really given the movie that much consideration. But when you guys were talking about it, I was like, yes, I would love to go see it. I would love to sort of see what's out there and do it. So I would like to thank you because it coming up made me even more excited to go. And it made me excited about something that I may have put off otherwise. So we can come back to the feminist part specifically in a bit because it does, I think it's what the movie's about. And I want to be careful not to do any spoilers about anything here because I know you guys are going to go see it. But it was the conversation on this podcast that inspired me or that made me want to go as badly as I ended up wanting to go. So thank you for that because I would have seen it, but I don't think I would have been nearly as, I don't know, excited to do it. I
love that.
Right.
Before we get right into it, I want to drop in, first of all, Karen,
yes.
Your reversible outfit Barbie may or may not be mentioned in the movie.
Daytime, nighttime Barbie?
Yes.
She was an icon.
My gosh. Also, I just want to pause to say, Tori, your level of dedication to A, seeing Barbie, B, our podcast is so like apparent because I mean, for people, I know that our listeners can't see you right now, but you are in a car waiting for your haircut and we have shoehorned this in to your day. So thank you. Truly. Thank you.
You are so welcome. I feel like the audience knows Ginger Buddha knows things. And so I felt like, what other duty could I have but to bring my booty knowledge to this scenario? So I feel very honored that I was trusted with such a journey. I believe that the text message to both of you said, quote, I volunteer as tribute to go to the Barbie movie.
Which, by the way, I have to say thank you because, like, I mean, for everything, but for going to the movie and for giving us this review, because genuinely, okay, this morning I got a text message from a couple of my friends in Bend, and they were like, "Oh, when you get back from your vacation, we want to go to the Barbie movie," and I'm like, sounds good, but like, I really am only excited because you've already seen it and can tell us what you thought. But wait. Back to Karen's question, though, your journey with Barbie. I'm going to stop interrupting you, please. I'd love to hear.
My journey with Barbie. I loved Barbie. I was not obsessed with Barbie. There was no ginger Barbie, which we will get to in a minute because there is a ginger Barbie. Her name is Midge. We're going to get to her in a second. But I was like medium into Barbie. I did have the dream house, which I remember having because I had a next door neighbor named Jennifer. She had like a gabillion Barbies, and you know, I had them and they were cool, but I wasn't like a doll kid. It was sort of, I would play make believe, and I remember I would always want to come up with an ending like the Barbie story, and then it was like a happy ending, and she was like, Barbie doesn't end, like we can play this again tomorrow, it's not a story. I was like, but I was like so obsessed with like wanting some like music to swell at the happy ending of the Barbie who found the, I don't know.
So much, so cinematic.
Right?
I mean, I did go to acting school after that. Like, I think someone could have probably tracked this.
Mm.
But the Barbie that I was the most excited about, her name was Magical Moves Barbie.
Oh.
And she had arms. Listeners, you can't see me, and I am in a car, so I'm a bit cramped to do it. But her arms were only bent, and they went up and down, and you could like make them go straight out a little bit like this. But who just raises their arms like this, right?
Yeah.
So after doing this, I realized and there was like a switch on her back, like a little switch that made the moves automatically, the arms automatically go up. But even then, I remember being frustrated and asking my mom what other things she could do, because all I could think to do with the use of the arms was, oh, I'm so surprised. All you could do was like surprise party Barbie. It's like,
oh my God. This sounds like an animatronic character from Chuck E. Cheese.
Yes.
Kind of. And weirdly enough, this is the second time I have talked about Chuck E. Cheese today. I talked about it with my niece, Potato, and she did not, name is not Potato, but that's what I call her. I tried to convince her today, and she didn't believe me, or tried to tell her, did you know that the E in Chuck E. Cheese stands for entertainment?
Entertainment. Oh, yeah.
It is his middle name. His name is Chuck Cheese. Charles Cheese.
What?
Yes.
His name isn't Chucky. It's Chuck Entertainment Cheese.
I only know that because Ava on Abbott Elementary made a joke about the Charles E. Entertainment Cheese.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, yeah, that's the thing.
Okay, my mind is genuinely blown right now. This could derail this entire conversation. I would be happy to have a whole podcast about that and Chuck E. Cheese. Like, also, yes. I feel like I have to like now pause. Chuck E. Cheese. Like, I'm like, if I'm going to say it properly.
If you look at it, it's an E. It is an initial, but you just say it as Chuck E. Cheese. But if you go to the website, you'll see it's Chuck capital E period cheese.
Unbelievable. Oh my God. Okay, well, I digress. Please continue.
So back to Magical Moves Barbie. The only other thing that we could come up with, and I remember, because I said to my mom, like, what else do you think she could do here? And my mom's suggestion, and I remember it was the first time remembering now, like, my mother in a fit of laughter, because she suggested I make Magical Moves Barbie do the robot. And I didn't understand what that meant. Like, you could just move the switch where Magical Move Barbie would go like this.
That is amazing. That is amazing. Yeah. She was cracking herself up.
She thought it was just because she, like, I remember when I got the Barbies, like, she was, I don't know, my memories of my childhood with my mom are kind of a little muddled, but it was a funny thing. I think she knew I loved Barbies, but I think she, at that time, being more feminist than most, I think it wasn't really seen then as a feminist. My mom's concern was tiny waist, long legs, perky boobs, much like everybody else's. But at this point, like with the Magical Moves Barbie and the robot, it was just a very funny thing. But yeah, so I was into Barbie. I never had like the Kens and the Skippers and the baby ones and the stuff, but I do remember having like the outfits, and seeing it last night made me more excited about it and made me sort of remember the fun parts of Barbie as a kid. And it definitely changed my perspective. I was excited to go in and see it, but I was even more excited afterward, because I think, I don't know if your coworker Karen in Slack had some inside scoop about the feminist icon part, but I would never have considered that until after seeing it. Like, now the question doesn't strike me as being as weird because of the way they tell the story. Americano Angel actually sent us an article. I don't know if you saw it, Care, or if you read it, but, and again, no spoilers here, but there's an article out there talking about the inventor of Barbie. And it's this woman, and she had a child, Kenneth and Barbara, and she saw that Kenneth had all of these things, all of these toys and trucks and stuff to play with as he was aging, but the only thing that Barbara had to play with were baby dolls, not teenage dolls, not grown-up dolls. There was nothing beyond being the role of mother to the dolls that she had. So she invented Barbie as a way for there to be like a future doll, like a doll that her daughter could see her future sort of in. And I encourage any listeners, if you haven't seen the movie by the time you're listening to this podcast, to look up that article. Maybe I'll send it to you guys if you want to drop it in the notes.
Yeah.
There's no spoilers on here, but it definitely helps because that's sort of an element of the movie too. Like it comes up a little bit of the origins of Barbie and why Barbie is who she is, and how she became who she is. And it speaks to it really beautifully in the movie. So yeah, I'll send you guys the article to drop in the show notes about this woman. Yeah, and I'll leave it at that so I don't overspill here, but it's an interesting origin story that I knew nothing about before going in.
I love this so much. I will read that too. And I will put in a plug for a story at 19thnews.org right now, written by one of my reporters. So Barbie inventor's name is Ruth Handler. And Not Just Story says Barbie inventor Ruth Handler thought the fact that Barbie was career-oriented with no husband or children made her a progressive figure.
Wow.
And in the years of Barbie, she has never been married. There have been bridal gown Barbies, but Barbie has never been referred to as a mother. She's never been referred to as a wife. Skipper was her sister. And I'll take this moment right now, if I may, to make some space for the ginger Barbie that was and then was not. This is the most ginger storyline you have ever heard in your life. Listeners who don't know, I guess my name is Ginger Buddha. I have red hair. And so obviously a redheaded Barbie, I remember this being an issue for me when I was a kid. So I got redhead Cabbage Patch doll. My mom was very careful about wanting to get redheaded things. There was a redheaded Barbie. Her name was Midge. Midge was a pregnant Barbie.
Oh,
she had a magnetic belly that would attach and detach. She only had pajamas. For her pregnant belly, it became a purple nightgown. And then immediately Midge was discontinued because it promoted unwed pregnancy or premarital sex or whatever hot button topic they were thinking of. So I am thrilled to tell you, because I don't want you to miss it, I'm speaking up for all the gingers in the world. When you watch the movie, Midge is a background character, just kind of like tucked in just a little bit, just like on the periphery, and you see it. Otherwise you would miss it, but I'm here to call out for all the gingers. Midge got a rough story. Midge got a rough go.
That is so rough.
Right.
Seriously.
There was another Barbie. I need to say that this is not a spoiler, but I didn't know this Barbie existed. Carrie, you may have mentioned this in the podcast last week. Preteen Barbie, that when you put her arm down, her boobs inflate.
What? No. What?
I'm not even kidding you. This was a thing. You put her arms, it was called like adolescent Barbie or big changes Barbie or something. And you put her arm down and her boobs would inflate.
Oh my God.
There's
so much to process here. I also feel like before I even see the movie, I really want to do a lot of research on the history of this and to know like the different Barbies, because I didn't even know there were different Barbies. Both of you are shaking your heads. You're like, no, don't.
I don't think you should, Care or Katie. I think that, well, I will speak for myself. Oh God, am I still here? I had to turn the phone on and now it's, or the car on and now it's doing the whole thing. I think the love that I got, this is going to sound kind of cheeseball, but like the re-loving Barbie after the movie made me excited to go learn more about it, as opposed to, like, I would say just go in with no expectations. Like go watch it early if you can, and then you get to pick and choose what you want to research, I think, about it. But like Cindy and I were there, Americano and Angel and I were there. When we saw Day to Night Barbie, I grabbed her, I was like, that's Carrie. So like the joy and excitement, and I think you would have a hard time, you'd be hard pressed to research any old Barbies right now without getting movie influence. I would recommend, Care, I think you said you and MLB are seeing it tonight or tomorrow or
Yes. No, Katie, you don't know this yet. We're going to the drive-in tonight in Indy.
Hell yes. Okay, that's the best place to see this.
I know.
Yes.
So excited.
Oh, that's awesome.
And so my recommendation would be go in, watch it, then research it, and then go back and see it again, because I will see it again multiple times. I in the theater. I'd never do that, but there were so many jokes I missed because of how hard I was laughing. And I can't believe I'm even saying this, but it was one of the best movies. It was one of the best girl power movies. It makes fun of itself just the right amount. It knows exactly what it's doing. It's so aesthetically beautiful. It, like, Helen Mirren narrates it, for God's sake.
What?
Like, it's
What?
Oh my God.
Wow.
okay. And may I comment one thing about Issa Rae, just because I know you're skeptical, Karen, or do you want to go in no expectations?
I have zero expectations. I don't know if I want to keep them. Like, tell me afterward. I want to keep my minds blank.
You're going to fall in love with her more. I will leave it there.
Oh my God.
So I want to set this up really quickly before we get into the specifics of the movie, because oh my God, it's already almost time.
I know.
So the theater that we went to in Chicago, we went and saw it at the Davis, for those that are familiar with Chicago, but there's a bar attached to it. So when Cindy and I went to go, it was sort of a last minute thing. We saw that it was available. We booked the tickets, whatever. We both went in pink. I had on my pink socks and my pink high tops and a pink blazer and a big high pone. And I had my terry cloth visor. And I had a couple of accessories to be able to seamlessly go from work Barbie to work out Barbie, just in case a quick transition was needed. Thank you.
Amazing.
So we go into the bar next door that's attached to the theater. And I'm not even kidding you. Everyone was in pink. There was a table of probably 12 or 14 people. Each one of them was dressed as an individual Barbie, complete with like preppy Ken, with like a baby blue, sweater over his shoulders. Another person came in and she was workout Barbie with the hot pink bicycle shorts with like the thong bathing suit over top of it, with the pink or the bright yellow sneakers with like elbow pads and a sweatband. Y'all, I am telling you, people are turning out for this. People were cheering. It got a standing ovation at the end.
What?
I'm telling you guys,
what?
I never thought I was going to say this. I never thought I was going to come back. I thought I was going to come back and say, this is pretty cute. This is pretty great. Like, it's great. You should go. Ryan Gosling, love him, love to look at him. His ability to make fun of himself in this movie, I don't want to say too much. The people in this, Kate McKinnon,
I didn't even know she was in it. Oh
I didn't
God,
either.
What a cast.
Oh my God.
Kate McKinnon, Helen Mirren, Rhea Perlman, Will Ferrell.
What?
Margot Robbie, John Cena and Dua Lipa play the mermaid Barbies. John Cena does not play a male Barbie. He does not. He plays in a full wig. Guys,
stop it. Stop it right now.
Don't walk. Run, don't walk. I want to have another conversation with you, if you will allow it, after you've both seen it, to come back and visit this, because the jokes, the clever, it's so well thought out. It's a parody of itself. And I heard someone say today, well, I don't think that the Barbie movie realizes that the patriarchy isn't over. And I will leave you and listeners with, that's the entire fucking point. It is a parody movie. It is about, I could go on and on and on. I want you both to see it, but I am here to give you and our listeners the most full-throated endorsement. Wear something pink, bring something silly. You can go onto Spotify and you can find a Barbie getting ready playlist. The number of powerhouse women that have come back for this, that have come to stand up for this. And I mean, I'm going to give a mad shout out to the band Aqua. Like, what a brilliant re-emergence from the 90s into 2023 with this song. They're the ones that sang the original Barbie song.
Yes.
Any questions that either of you would like to ask me about it that I can answer before I jump here, or that you want to know before you go in? Anything?
I love anything. This is such a comprehensive review. I so appreciate this, Ginger Buddha. Seriously, like, you're getting me amped, and the fact that it's a satire makes me so happy, because like that's what we really need. This is like the summer movie of the year. That's what it sounds like.
It is. I laughed so hard I almost wet my pants. Also, then at the end, wept, and then finished the movie. This movie has a button on it at the very, very end, like no movie I've ever seen. And we'll definitely come back and talk about that specific thing. But the clever in the writing of this, and the way that this, America Ferrera also in it.
Wow.
But the way the movie buttons is, it's just so great.
I have one question for you. I think you've already answered it, but so, all right, here is the description, and I don't think this is a spoiler. Again, back to the story from the 19th. The Barbie film flips the feminist critiques of Barbie on their head, portraying Barbie Land as a matriarchal society with empowered women and dependent men.
Yes. And I will say this to give you a little bit more context, and this is not a spoiler, this happens at the very beginning. Barbie starts, like, there's some glitches in the Barbie matrix, and she goes to see the wise Barbie, and wise Barbie says there's somebody playing with you in the real world whose thoughts have been adjusted. You have to go back to the real world and figure this out. So they leave Barbie world to go to the real world, and then Ken discovers the brilliance of the patriarchy, and I'll leave it there. But they go back to the real world, and then, so yes, yes, Karen, that assessment from the 19th is spot on, but they, not in a stupid way. Like, it's not Barbie coming and like teaching all the people how to do it. That's not what it is at all. It's exactly what I think it's supposed to be. But I think that your 19th writer hit it right on.
Unbelievable. I mean, Tori / Ginger Buddha, thank you from the bottom of my heart for coming on this pod in a hot summer day in Chicago, in your car. Like, no, I don't even think it's hot. Not because you look great. I think it's just like, I know, no, it's like you turned on your car. I'm sure that it's like, it's really
I turned on the car because I was melting.
Yes, exactly.
Oh my God. Okay.
And I just want to say too, that even if you don't think you want to go see the Barbie movie, like, and I say this to both of you, and if you're in a mood, if you're feeling down about yourself, down about the world, down about whatever, to grab a girlfriend or a boyfriend or a partner or a whomever, even if you hate Barbie, even if you don't believe the patriarchy is a thing, this movie will make you laugh. I have been in a good mood. Like, Cindy sent a group chat to us today saying, like, I'm still on a high. I've been riding this high all day and have told literally everyone I've spoken to today, even one of my work calls, that they needed to book a date night babysitter to go see this movie.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I love it. And this is a perfect segue to how I want to end, which is that listeners, if you can't get enough of Ginger Buddha, we have amazing news for you.
Yes.
Oh, Karen, thanks for the plug. Yes, I have launched a podcast of my own for my company, Chicago Super Sitters. It's a babysitting placement service. And the podcast is called Childcare WTF. It is about breaking down childcare and the shenanigans that surround it, and I will say that I only use the letter F in the title and when I introduce it, but I use the actual F word many times in the podcast itself. You can find it on Spotify and Apple and Audible, Amazon. It is childcare, WTF ? New episodes drop every Monday. Thanks, Care, for the plug. I almost forgot.
I love this so much. Like, you are giving gift to the world, Ginger Buddha, because everyone loves your episodes with us so much. It's like, oh my gosh, you can get your fix every single Monday. I cannot wait to listen. I need to listen.
I love that. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And I would love to, to talk more about it. And I mean, I will say, I will give you guys credit. You watching you podcast and watching you do this and feel the comfort that I got to feel coming on and chatting with you made this easier for me to start myself. So I owe a lot to the two of you.
So well, you'll definitely have to come on for like full on episode about
Barbie
your
number
pod.
3.
Yes.
And Barbie number 3 and an episode about my pod. Totally.
Yes.
Well, I can't wait to talk to both of you. Thank you so much. I'm going to bounce out. I am going to get my Ginger Buddha locks cut right now. But I love you both and thank you for this. And I can't wait to hear the report when you watch the movie.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Ginger Buddha. It's so good to see you.
All right. You
Thank
too.
you. Bye.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye.